Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's Mike.
And Tiana.
Welcome to another episode of the Melon Hood Podcast, where we will be bringing reality to relationships and business, and also just overall having real conversations.
Real conversation.
So let's get into it. Let's get into it. It's been a while. It's been some years, and we're finally back on the internet. We're finally back making some podcasts, and we excited to share some things with you.
Some of y'all may know, some of y'all may not.
Yeah.
Mike and I, we're real estate investors, and we've been working together as a couple, as spouses for about like 7 years, since 2016. Yeah. So since 2016, we're full blown entrepreneurs. We work solely for ourselves. So we kind of know how to maneuver around this thing, working together as a couple. So today's episode, nevertheless, is going to be about how to invest. In real estate as a couple, and just do business overall in general. I think it would apply as a couple. So yeah,
let's get into it. Let's get into it.
So first things first, I would say, do you think it's like a challenging thing, or do you feel like it kind of is a smooth ship when working with a spouse or working with me anyway?
For me, I feel like it's really both. I think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I think the better y'all can mesh together, the better y'all can come together and come into an agreement.
Yeah.
I think the business can flow better, as working together as a team, and knowing a major thing is knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses. I think
right.
I believe if you can get that established first, I think it could be a easy ride for you and a successful one.
I think the same thing, because do I think it's gonna be smooth sailing like in the beginning? No. Like you said, I feel like it's something that you have to work up towards, because you are strong in areas, because especially if you're starting out like in your new in marriage or in a relationship, regardless, because the thing of the matter is you're learning the person at the same time that you're trying to learn how to work with that person. So it's like, everybody always says, oh, well, know your strengths and your weaknesses, but I may not know all your strengths and weaknesses up front or even yet, so it's going to constantly be like a ever evolving thing, I think.
Yeah.
So as you learn like what your strengths are, also at that same time, learn to implement them in your business practice. And I feel like that'll kind of be helpful.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not all going to happen all at once. It's progressive.
Right.
So as you grow together, you learn together, you learn from each other's mistakes, you observe each other.
Right.
Then you can better figure out, okay, well, I know to place you here. Let me work here. Let you work here.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's going to take time. It didn't happen overnight. No. And communication is a huge factor, because I also need to let you know what I'm not good at.
Right.
And not let pride and ego get in the way from stopping me from
That's a big one.
Take over in a certain position or a certain area.
That's a big one. You have some people in relationships where they have like this domineering type of personality and trait.
They got to take over.
They always have to take over. Yeah. It's my way or no way. Yeah. If I can't do it, then we just won't do it.
Especially for the guys.
Yeah. Especially for the guys.
Yeah, especially for the guys.
Especially for the guys. But no, you have a lot of women that are like that too.
Yeah.
And I think a part of that is because we're and I'm speaking in general. Of course, you have exceptions to the rule, but just generally speaking, majority of the time, women are more detail oriented, and we tend to like pay attention to like the small picture, where you guys usually only see the big picture.
Right.
We typically see how the small picture. Yes. So if you want to do something and we see that it just doesn't add up in the short term, so the long run is not going to be something that you're going to be able to anticipate, then we'll say something.
Yeah.
And so a lot of guys, pride and ego gets in the way. No, I want to do it like this. I want to do it like that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she may let you have your way just for the sake of not having an argument. And then other times you guys just will not work together because you don't know how to compromise. So I think, like you said, having pride and ego lay to rest sometimes will be so beneficial for the success of your business overall.
Yeah, you really got to know. You got to have the boundaries, and you got to know each other's position.
Yes.
And
I think we do that pretty well now.
Yeah. Now, because once I figured out, okay, I know I'm not that detailed. I have no problem with letting you have the detailed stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel the pressure and the burden is off me because I don't have to feel like I have to be Superman and do everything.
Right.
So now I can be like, man, I can let Tiana handle it, and I know she can take care of it. Now I can go on to what's next or start thinking ahead.
Right. And like he said, we didn't get there overnight. Like there was literally so many times that we fought over a paint color. Yeah. Like literally, it's my lane.
And then I gotta revert back, be like, hold on, we agreed to let her have the what is it called?
I do all of the design
and stuff, the detail, and I gotta snap back and be like, all right, just because you didn't got used to it, and you didn't got familiar with it, and you kind of picked up on the swag,
you start smelling yourself a little bit. Yeah. So like literally, Mike will tell you. So sometimes I pull his card because he does still like try to slip on over there into my lane sometimes, and I kind of pull his card, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry, well, technically this isn't your lane, so I'm pulling card right now. What I say goes. And then same thing for him sometimes, like some properties in particular he may like, and I may say, I don't know if that's one that we should do. I don't really too much care for that one, but he'll pull the card too and be like, hey, well, sorry, scouting property, that's my lane. Yeah. So if the numbers make sense and I can see that this will be a good investment, regardless of how you feel about it, we gonna have to roll with this one. You're gonna have to figure out the design and make it work.
Right. So communication is very key. Right. Being open, being transparent. Right. So you can know where to draw the line and where the boundaries, and if somebody go too far, you can always remind them, hey, remember such and such, you need to do it gracefully.
Don't be a butthole about it, because that won't get you anywhere in real life, and it surely won't get you anywhere in business.
Right. Unless the other person is being hard and hard headed, and it's like, no, I'm not hitting. Then you gotta lay the law. But other than that,
lay the law.
Yeah. when the communication is there in the beginning, and each other position and role in the business or relationship or whatever endeavor, then you can better progress and have success.
Right. So I agree 100%. Yeah. So let me ask you this, because this is kind of like a I think misogynistic is the right word. This is kind of like one of those situations where when deciding what role what spouse takes, it kind of automatically is assumed that like women are going to do the administrative stuff. They're going to do the stuff that requires a lot of thought process and all that stuff. And the guys typically do like the heavy lifting, and they only do, they do the things that are just considered manly. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's something that should be that way, or do you feel like it should be, subjective?
No, I think it's definitely subjective, because every guy is not what you were saying in the beginning. Yeah. Sometimes the guy is the detailed person. Exactly. Sometimes the guy is the administrative person. Yeah. And I mean, it's on a case by case basis. So if that is the case, then let him be in that spot. If it's not, then let it not. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Yeah. Like that's why I said in communication, it needs to be said, and you need to learn and observe each other to know where to put each other at. Right. So if you're in a place, or if you're operating in the weakness and your weakness, you need to say that, and it needs to be observed. Like, okay, well, this is not your strong area. Right. Let me take over, or let me hire it out, or let me bring somebody in that can better do this, because this is not my suit. Right. So if he's detailed, and if he, does the small stuff, let him do it. Yeah. And it's okay. He don't have to let the ego and pride take over. Let him do the small stuff, and if the lady is the visionary, or she sees ahead and does the big stuff, let her do it.
I agree.
Not a heavy lifting. If we talking physical, that's different.
Nah, I mean, because we trying to teach people to be investors. We're not teaching people today. And there's nothing wrong with you actually picking up a hammer and doing something. By any means, am I not saying that? Yeah. But overall, the goal is to get to work where your manual labor is not required. Yeah. That's our goal anyway. Yeah. So no, I'm not physically talking about like heavy lifting. I'm talking about like
no, definitely. If that's where she's strong at, let her have it.
Right. So my thing is too, because like we have a lot of male friends, Mike and I, and a lot of them are like the numbers guys. Like they're very strong thinkers. Like they think beyond the thought process of any normal person. And sometimes they overanalyze people, and analyze situations. They're very analytical. So I would think that it would be great to have someone like that in administrative, because most of the time in administrative, you're looking at invoices, you're paying people, you're constantly making sure that the contracts and everything are as discussed. And so those people, they tend to pay a little bit more attention to detail. And some of our friends, those people are guys.
Yeah.
So, and then I know plenty of women that are not visionaries, like Mike said, where they can't simply see, they can't go into an ugly situation and see something pretty.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's okay.
Yeah. And it's fine.
No, yeah. but just pay attention to that. Pay attention, just leave it down.
My earring has betrayed me, these headphones, so we're gonna leave you off for a minute.
Yeah. No, let just, it needs to be notated.
Yeah.
The better you take notice of it, the better you can change and do better at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
If it's not your strong suit, don't go for it. You don't have to it's not really, it don't have to be a one size fit all.
It doesn't.
You can share it.
You can.
And disperse.
So one of the things that Mike and I talk about all the time, because like I said, we do this. So our workflow kind of goes like this. Like Mike will literally go out and scout the properties. He'll find the properties. He'll do whatever he needs to do to, find a deal or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it's a rental property, a short-term rental, a flip, or new construction, land, whatever. He does all that. That's his part. Occasionally, if the workload is heavy, like if it's a bunch of stuff, I'll jump in with him and try to secure a deal. But for the most part, he has to ask me to do that. That's him.
Yeah.
And then once we find the property and everything and we get it, then that's when I come in and I can see the property and decide what it's going to look like, where we're going to move, where we're going to do this, how we're going to lay this thing out to make sure it's at the most effective rate. And then after that, he hires the contractors, he gets everything situated and set up, and then we move on from there. But it's always, the point of the matter is, it's always a step-by-step process, and we always know who's in charge in each step.
Right. And also what I've learned to not, even though like that's my position, or that's the
your role.
my role. Even though I know that's my role, or we know it's each other role, we still converse with each other before we make the decision.
Exactly.
And I think that is very important. Like, you don't want to get to the point where you're just moving on it. Like if you have, if you're a couple and you have a significant other, take advantage of that.
Yes.
Because she is my helpmeet, and we are there to be a team. So before I just, shoot the gun, I need to make sure, the bullets in the chamber.
Right.
We both, before we just make the, decision, we just need to talk with each other.
Please don't get so consumed with yourself and so cocky that you feel like, oh, whatever I say goes, because that still can cause issues. Like, everybody has their own roles, like Mike said, but I will never, even if, like we talked about, this dang paint color, y'all. If it's a paint color that we can't agree on, now, I don't ever want to disagree with him. We're business partners, but we're husband and wife first.
Yeah.
And we make sure that we understand it. Like, at the end of the day, when we close these computers and when we get back home, you're my husband.
Yeah.
So we try to find a compromise first.
Yeah.
If we can't find a compromise, then maybe on occasion we'll pull a card, and then sometimes I let him have his way because it's really just not that serious,
Yeah.
So you have to establish you guys' relationship and boundaries and like what you're going to tolerate in the beginning, so that it's no murky water.
Don't wait until the ship is sinking to start discussing. And I rather we take a L together than me rushing off doing a decision on my own and having to come home and bring the bad news. Like, no, I'd rather bring the bad news when we both.
I'm pointing fingers. I'm gonna look. Didn't I tell you not to? Deal with that on your own.
Yeah, and then it's gonna lead to one thing that's gonna lead to the.
Right.
So at the end of the day, just the sooner the better.
Right.
Establish those roles and communicate.
I'm serious, y'all. Like, it's for real. It's serious, because building an empire together is so beautiful and so beneficial, and it's something that like can't nobody mess with. Literally, if you got your spouse on your team and y'all actually rocking together and y'all are building together, nobody can touch that, and everybody knows that. So I feel like it's worth it to go ahead and take the necessary steps and implement the necessary steps to make sure that you're actively and effectively building.
Yeah, two is better than one. That's very, that's wisdom.
That is seriously.
That's wisdom. So if you got a chance to do something, to do an endeavor together, and you can include your spouse or your significant other, it'll always be better than you doing it by yourself. In my opinion.
Yeah, and mine too. And then, of course, everybody may not have a spouse that's interested, in necessarily like investing or working together in that capacity. Doesn't mean that your spouse isn't useful.
Yeah.
So, like, we have a couple of friends where the spouse the husband or the wife may be interested, in our case, in investing in real estate, and then the other spouse may not be, and that's fine. But that spouse can contribute in some shape or form.
Right.
So even if it's just bouncing ideas off of that person and listening to what they say, they may be a great listener. Yeah. They may be a very creative person.
Yeah.
So something that you may not have thought about, they're your solution.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it, because just because they may not be interested in real estate doesn't mean that they aren't creative.
Yeah.
Or that they're not good with numbers, or that they're not great listeners.
Right.
Or, something of that sort.
And that is okay.
Okay.
That is okay. So if I know she's not interested in real estate, but she's good with numbers, or she's an accountant, guess what? So when it's time to crunch numbers, it's nothing wrong with you doing it, but hey babe, can you verify these numbers for me?
Right.
And it's obviously it's something she like, but it's just, you might be a couple $1,000s off. She probably catch something that you can't. Right. But it's just, and it's also an opportunity to bond together.
Always look for those opportunities.
Is awesome when y'all can bond together.
Yes.
With your work.
And it's a flex. It's like, in my opinion, it's a flex, because I value your mind. I think that you seeing them operating in their gifting and like whatever it is that they love to do, it's sexy to me.
Yeah.
And so even though we may be in different sectors, us coming together and us both collectively like using our minds to create something is beautiful to me. So I agree.
Yeah.
Big time.
Awesome.
So another thing that I wanted to bring up is the fact that like and then just to piggyback off of that, because I did have this actually come up in a situation on something I was watching. But say you're like an investor for whatever reason, everything comes up with contracts. And there was this couple where the spouse was a lawyer. Yeah. So the lawyer spouse knew how to look at a contract. They know nothing about investing, but they know everything about contracts. Yeah. So it's like, they caught them up in something silly, but it's just the value of valuing your spouse and whatever gifts they have, to see how they can work together to make sure it's for the betterment of what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
But anywho, my last question is, what do you say to the spouse that, to the spouses or the couples that have actually tried the business thing and it did not work? Mm-hmm. They could not put their differences aside, and they just realized that it's not beneficial to them. But one of the spouses still wants to pursue that particular business endeavor. Like, what do you tell them?
To encourage each other, continue to encourage each other, build each other up, lift each other up. If you can't do nothing, you can speak words of encouragement.
Oh, that's so nice.
And so even on top of that, pursue what you want to pursue. Yeah. But when you know your weakness and it's possible to bring somebody in that can take over that weakness, do so.
Yeah.
Do so. Simple as that.
Yeah, and in that, I say that it's okay to want different things and still be together. Now, ultimately, I'm a believer, and we're believers, so I do believe that a wife's vision for their life is supposed to complement her husband. We're helpmeets. Not saying that you have to do what he does. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you are there to help encourage, support, lift up, and do whatever it is that you could do to, improve the betterment of whatever endeavor it is that he's doing for the betterment of the family. Yeah. And I feel like the same thing should be done vice versa. Like, support each other, because so many people, in my opinion, undervalue support. Like, support is such a big thing in any relationship, but especially in a marriage or in a relationship with someone. Just you supporting me, you may not know how to do nothing else, but if your support on point, baby, we good. Right. We good. Right. So, if nothing else, if you can't do anything else, just support her. Or him. Yeah. Share their stuff. Yeah. Tell somebody about it. Yeah. Bring in whatever financial resources and things that you can to help grow that thing. Yeah. And you'll be surprised at how much just your support will do to, like,
Absolutely.
blow it up completely. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
It might be that extra, that it might be that energy, that level of energy that's needed to go ahead and finish the project. So
yes.
here, Brownie.
Agreed. Yeah, of course. Okay. So I think that's it. I think that's it for this episode, you guys.
Episode 1, y'all.
Yeah, we look forward to hollering at y'all in the next episode.
Yeah.
So until next time, neighbors, it was good in the hood. We'll talk to y'all later. And
like, subscribe, comment, share it.
Yes, please.
So that it's all about our algorithms.
Yes.
So help us with that so other people can be uplifted and we can add value to more people.
Yes, invite your favorite friend, cousin, uncle, brother, sister, mother.
Listen to it on your way to the house. Listen to it listen to your way on the way to the house. Listen to it heading to work, leaving work.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
We appreciate it. If y'all have any topics or anything that you guys would like for us to discuss, let us know down below in the comments.
Yeah.
Also follow us on social media if you have not, and let us know. Send us a DM or put us in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
And until next time, it's all good in the hood. Talk to y'all later. Peace out, neighbors.
Peace and blessings.